Hello and welcome back to the Red Cord Twin Flame Central, and this is part 2 of where I'm answering a few concepts and questions vis-a-vis twin flame journey. And I was about to get into the dichotomy of how to surrender as well as manifest and how that is not contradictory. uh, I'm sorry I had to pause the video because my son has just come back from school. And to answer this is when you're not very precise, okay, you leave the door open for the universe to send you that what you're asking for or something better, which is more in tune with your soul plan or for the highest and best of you, what you actually need. So if you need assistance, for example, with money, ask for that, but don't be stuck up on where you want it from, right? That I would like it to be from my salary, or I would like it as an inheritance, or I want to win the lottery. Allow the universe to work its miracle and send it to you the way that it deems appropriate for you. Okay, so the dichotomy comes where how much should we ask for, or how much clarity? The clarity has to be vis-a-vis what you're trying to, why do you want that, what are you trying to feel? And if you can work on getting the feeling in you yourself, if you want to feel loved, love yourself, right? So when you get the feeling right, and then when you're asking without insisting it has to be a marriage or it has to be XYZ, or then the universe might find a way or a person to send to you to fulfill that wish of yours, that desire of yours, which again should not be based on voids or based on needs. This I will make a separate video because it's long and it is going to trigger a lot of people, that why would I ask for something if I didn't need it? We are not talking about requirements. When I talk about voids and needs, it's a space which you feel an external thing, person, situation, experience is going to fulfill for you. You have to be fulfilled within you by your own self. That's what the twin flame journey is about. That's what the ascension journey is also about, right? So we have to ask, do our work, continue doing our work without putting conditions on how we want the outcome to be, and when and how and whatever's, and allow the universe to bring it to us in the way that is best for us, and to be grateful and to be okay with whatever comes our way. Sometimes the answer is no, if what we are asking for is not for our highest and best, right? So that, I hope, explains very briefly what the dichotomy of surrender versus asking is, right? You ask and continue doing your work, working on yourself, and then leave the rest on the universe. It's not saying don't expect the fruits. Of course you can, you should, you are here to experience everything in the human form. You're not just here to suffer. No, you're here to experience everything, including pain sometimes, because somehow humans learn the best lessons when they go through pain. That's when they start asking the right questions. You cannot get the right answers unless you ask the right questions. If you're asking the wrong questions, then you wonder why the answers are not coming through. Is because, well, you're not even clear what you're asking. Okay, so the next thing I think I should cover is there is there are many who, when they are in separation with a twin, of course we all initially go through a lot of triggers and pining and yearning. But if you find that you're stuck on the pain and the grief, and it has been months and you've not been able to move past it, see, with the twin flame journey, if you continue working with each time a trigger comes up and you actually go down and ask yourself, where is this coming from? What am I actually feeling? What if the worst, whatever you think is the worst, is true? So how does it make what difference to me, and why does it matter to me so much, etc.? You go in till you reach your core of that particular issue and work with it and take the lessons, release it. Okay, so once you have done that, or if you have not been doing that, please go ahead and do that, because you're not supposed to stay stagnant and keep feeling miserable. But if you're doing your inner work and if you're still feeling miserable and you're still in too much pain, most likely that person who you think was your twin flame was your catalyst. And that is why the pain, the void, because when catalysts leave, they leave a void, and you have to then fill it with self-love and self-worth and rebuild yourself. And the good news is, the minute you do it, your true twin will enter. They do. So if you're in too much pain and nothing seems to be working, please check again within you and take the help of angels to bring you clarity, whether the person you were dealing with was actually your true twin flame or your catalyst or there are various titles, but basically not your true twin. So instead of getting into tags, ask, take help, go to a therapist or a healer and work with your inner issues. And especially, I'm sure they deal with abandonment, rejection, betrayal. They could be about your self-worth, your self-esteem, that I'm always rejected, I'm always a failure, nobody has ever loved me. These are some of the common templates that we all have seemed somewhere deeply buried, and we all need to work on and release and discover our own self-esteem, our own self-worth and confidence, and fill ourselves and start giving to others what you wish to draw to yourself, not with the condition that I'm giving this and it should come back to me. You have to feel ready to give. You have to feel the love for everyone before you can start giving, because otherwise you're just pretending to give. You're just doing the actions, you're play acting. You're not genuinely giving it from here. If you're giving it from here, it will always find its way back to you from one source or another. Okay, so of course there are many tools that can help you let go of the grief and pain, and there are 5 stages. Of course, we all know, of denial and bargaining and grief and acceptance, all that, depression. So we do go through the various stages. I'm sorry, today I am in a different place and my stand is not in place, so I am holding the camera and I'm used to moving my hands while talking, so it's kind of hard for me to be holding it and not being able to gesticulate and emphasize on the words. Okay, so the tower moment is something that I have been guided to explain to a lot of people, because a lot of twins wonder why a lot of their life suddenly changes after meeting their twin or just before meeting their twin, and radical changes, painful changes, having to let go of certain relationships or changing your city or jobs, or you lose your job because that's propelling you to find the one that's meant for you. And it may seem like terrible things start happening in your life ever since you meet your twin. The thing is, everything that is the time is over for it, the contract is over with your karmic partner. You will start having conflict and divorce, or sometimes the weird thing is that, once you meet your twin and you are in your higher vibration and stuff, so it does affect your surroundings and people around you, and the twin gets confused and seems to think that, oh, things are going wonderful with my karmic. Oh, there's so much peace and quiet, and the conflicts have died down. It's actually not that. It's that you are in a higher vibration, right? Anyway, so the tower moment comes before or right after meeting your twin, and several times after that. It's to encourage you to let go of things that are no longer needed in your life, so that you can move to the next level, next phase, next dimension, the next learning, the new, the beginning, the starting, bringing you closer to your own authentic self, to your soul mission, your soul purpose, being your own person without fear, without anxieties, without all the pain and trauma that you have stored from across lifetimes, and becoming independent emotionally, mentally, financially. So you will find that suddenly there's an urge in you to be serious about getting your job in order, your finances in order. You feel propelled, where you could have been a laid back person before, taking life very casually. Once you meet your twin, you suddenly get serious about finding your job and finding your place in the world and getting that success, because you need to complete certain things in the 3D world, the lessons you came here to learn or to master, or whatever that you started. Perhaps you need to bring them to their natural conclusions and closures before you can go ahead. So that's why we face a lot of what I call the tower moments, where there is collapse and destruction of the old and what needs to go, so that you can then start rebuilding and creating the new life that you deserve, that you actually wish to live. Okay. There was a very interesting question from someone, that why are the way showers not yet in union with their twins? And the answer is very simple if you just think about it. Because if we were, and somebody comes to us with their pain and with their triggers, and we would say, no, this is a natural part, and they'd say, what do you know? You're happy, you are in union with your twin, you never went through this. Well, so we are here as the way sure the word says, we are here to show this is how to deal with it. You don't have to be miserable and in your PJs all day and not be eating and drinking and crying. You have to get your life, you have to look beautiful for yourself, and feel wonderful and be happy. And we are there to share and understand, and we are empaths any which way, most of us, and being light workers, we kind of process the information before others and then share it. So we are a few maybe phases or laps ahead of others, but we are not yet in union, because then perhaps we would you know the others would not take our advice or our suggestions or the certain downloads as seriously, and to give us the hope that we all always need. There are a lot of them who are coming into unions. So everyone has a different path and a different timeline, and the way showers have to show what surrender is all about, to continue doing your work and working on your mission, doing it happily and bringing joy to everyone around, and keeping the spirits of everyone including you up. And when the energies affect you, to show what it is to be authentic and honest, and to say, listen, the energies are affecting me, this is how I'm dealing with it, maybe it can help you, or you could try something similar. So that is why I hope that answers the question. I found it very amusing though. That is the reason why a lot of them are not yet in union, is because so many people are looking to them as one of them, that this person understands what I'm going through, you know, and their words touch you and their guidances help you. Okay, so the next question was about, another, I really like this one. That we are always told when your twin is not communicating with you or avoiding you or not texting you back or something like that, which a lot of them are doing currently. A lot of masculines are completely silent and withdrawn, and some of them who have even got the clarity are still choosing for one reason or the other to stay in the safety zone and not really communicating or texting or whatever. So you're told to communicate with them in the 5D level, and that kind of uh, okay. The reason I'm bringing a clarity to that is in the 5D level, where your higher selves are, everything is always hunky dory. They're always in union. Your twin and your higher self, they're actually one because they've already come into union. I mean, duh. Everything is there, is completely fine. What you're being asked to do is communicate either to your higher self or his higher self, if that separateness kind of, because for me personally, I see his higher self as uh, you know a different from my higher self. It just makes it simpler for my brain, what to say and how to say. But that whether they are in union in the higher dimension, of course they are. The thing is, what you're trying to essentially do is establish telepathy. You are trying to get your message across from the heart center, where you're always connected with your true twin. And what helps you is because sorry, everything is sorted over there, and they do know what's coming up ahead. So even though you don't get clarity right here, but here, when the messages come down to you, you know things are going to be fine, or you get that reassurance, that good feeling, the happy vibrations, right? But where you do communicate with your twin is at both your 4D levels. Okay, when you can go above your conflicts and your polarity and your 3D understandings and beliefs, and you are in a higher observer position and leaving everything else behind, is where you communicate with them. You talk to the higher selves when you wish for clarity or a certain thing, intervention or whatever. But when you want to do a one-on-one, either you try telepathy or you are communicating with them at the 4D level, not the 5D level. Okay, because the 5D level, everything is sorted any which ways. And okay, another interesting thing is, please, twin flames, be very careful, because when your fears and doubts and anxieties and worries surface, immediately deal with them immediately, because you are mastering manifestation. You are working towards becoming master manifestors, but you already are very powerful manifestors. Look back in your life, you have always managed to draw into your life whatever you have emotionally felt strongly about, not necessarily what you wish to draw. And why is that? Because our emotions are very powerful, and we will draw in whatever your attention and your emotions are heavily feeling at that time. So be careful. I'm not saying stay positive all the time. After a point, you do manage to get there where you're pretty much in a, unaffected by external things and everything. But the highs and lows are there, otherwise you'd feel dead. I mean, but be careful, because the more when your fears arise, for example, you're triggered and or something is happening, or the energy is affecting you and the eclipses are affecting you, and if you give in to that and you keep valuing about it and feeling sorry for yourself and constantly worrying, you're going to manifest it. you're going to draw it into your life, and that will become your experience and lesson and everything, and the whole new cycle. Just be very careful is what I'm trying to say. The minute you're aware, you're thinking, cancel it out and start working, write your affirmations and start going deeper in to see where it's coming from so you can release it, right? So I hope that brings clarity to you. And there's one very important thing, but I'm already into 20 minutes, so I'm going to leave you all with a lot of love and light, and I hope you enjoyed these two videos of mine and they've brought you clarity. And I welcome your questions, and thank you for all your love and all your lovely comments. And please do not forget to subscribe and like and share. This is Nikita Bhargav.